Nanda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
So we're continuing our reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya-lila, chapter 20, entitled The Lord Instructs Sanatan Goswami, text number 26. So yeah, we've been discussing how Sanatan Goswami on his travels after he's left the prison, he's met a landlord, and the landlord had this palm reader, palmist, and that found out they were carrying gold. So, and the landlord was treating them extra nicely, which made Sanatan suspicious of him. And then he's just asked the servant, "Have you got any anything with you?" And the servant said, "Yeah, I've got 7 gold coins." And then the last verse we just read, "Why have you brought this deaf knell with you?" So yeah, we discussed last week how money can be a real trap. We have to be very careful with money.
Wasn't that wasn't he saying that he had 8 gold? I mean
The palmist had said he's got 8 gold coins, but
yeah.
the servant says 7.
He was
So
still holding
he
on.
was still holding one. Even after
Yeah.
Sanatan asked him, he had 8, but he only told Sanatan, "I've got 7." So that's the thing with money, right? You won't let it go. Even you get caught, you'll still try to hide something, you know? So it's very difficult to give up that attachment for money as very deeply rooted in our hearts, our attachment to sense gratification. And as we discussed, I mean, it's the money of itself is no value whatsoever, but it's that it can help to us to purchase or achieve sense gratification. So it's what that we can do with that money that we're attached to. So if we got money, we can live in a nice, comfortable home, and we can wear nice clothes and get a beautiful partner and so forth and like that, nice food and everything. So that's why we're so attached to money, because with money we can achieve, sense gratification. But yeah, it causes many problems potentially. And in this case, Sanatan has just found out in time. Otherwise, the landlord is going to say in the next few verses that I was planning to kill you both tonight when you went to sleep. So he's just sorted it out in time. Okay, so let's read 26. Tabe se satta mohara hastete kariya bunnara kacheyana kahe mohara dariya.
तब से ही साता मोरे हंसते ते करिया भुनारा काछे आना kahe mohara dhariya. Thereupon Sanatan Goswami took the 7 gold coin in his hands and went to the landlord. Holding the gold coins before him, he spoke as follows.
Mm. Okay, can read the next one.
I have these 7 gold coins with me. Please accept them. And from a religious point of view, please get me across that hilly tract of the land.
So why do you think he said from a religious point of view? Why bring up religion?
Yeah, that's the point I was thinking. I'm guessing here. I guess it's because he's going to meet Mahaprabhu, so it's kind of a religious, or you're helping somebody basically in terms of um, who's doing some religious goal. He wants to reach Mahaprabhu, so he's helping them in his bhakti or something. Yeah. What do you think?
I'm thinking it's more to do with I mean, if according to religion, I mean, from a religious perspective, if you paid somebody for something, they should do their duty towards that.
Hmm?
Like
If you
from a scriptural
if
perspective,
you're paid, if someone gives you
like
money,
if you're given some money,
yeah.
then they do their duty.
Hmm.
I mean, he said that he's going to help him anyway. So to keep his word, the landlord said to him, right, that I'll help you anyway.
I think it's service. So he's basically paying for the service he's going to provide to him to cross the hilly tract land. So it's kind of a, but what's the
Oh
religious
no,
point?
that didn't happen yet, is it?
Yeah. Not yet.
Yeah,
He's
no, the landlord did mention before, I shall get you across that hilly tract land. So, but that's when Sanatan became suspicious that why he's so being so helpful, giving him food to cook, helping him cross, because in normal society, you don't get anything for nothing, right? There's nothing free, right? There's a saying, right? There's no such thing as a free ride. So he was suspicious that why the landlord is offering to help if I'm not going to even give him anything. So that was then, and that's what set the alarm bells off that there's something wrong here, because normally no one gives anything for free. And yeah, so you both had ideas about why he's bringing up from a religious point of view, and there may be something in both of those ideas. But what I had thought, because if we look from Bhagavatam, that Dharma, religion, rests on 4 pillars, 4 legs, just like the bull is regarded as Dharma, and just like the bull stands on 4 legs. So the Dharma religion also has 4 pillars. Do you know what they are?
Yeah, I think one is cleanliness, then
Yep,
you
cleanliness.
calm earth,
Huh?
and then there's
Yes, cleanliness. What else did you say?
and then dharma or duty, I think. And
No. We're talking about Dharma. So Dharma, religion, Dharma has rests on 4 pillars. So cleanliness is one. Giant, he said truthfulness.
Mercy
That's one.
and austerity.
And she said the other two, mercy and austerity. So mercy, that's what they're talking about here from a religious point of view. So from a religious point of view, then, to be merciful or kind, that's religious. So he's encouraging him.
So what was the statement again?
The statement again is, I have these 7 gold coins with me. Please accept them. And from a religious point of view, please get me across that hilly tract of land. So from a religious point of view, we should be kind to each other. That's religious. If the opposite of that is to be like cruel or abusive like that, unkind, that's adharma, that's irreligious. But to be kind, to be merciful, that's religious. A religious person is kind, and an irreligious or sinful person is unkind or, wicked, like that, miserly, like that. So that's from a religious point of view. What Johnny said, that's more like business. That, you've paid me some money and then I should help you. But that's from a business point of view. But from a religious point of view, even if there was no money, even if he hadn't given any money, he's given money also. But even if he hadn't given any money, from a religious point of view, then you should just help someone because they need help. You see someone that needs help and you help them. That's for, if you're a religious person, then, it's recommended, it's encouraged, that we be merciful, that we be kind,
I guess
Why did Prabhupada, he had such a good life in Vrindavan, at 70 years old, just retire there and have a good life, and you're living in the temple. But why did he risked everything to go to America, spread Krishna consciousness? Why? From that religious point of view, to be merciful, so to be merciful to all the souls that have forgetful of Krishna, then out of kindness, compassion for them, he has, taken so much difficulty like that. So yeah, truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, and austerity. These are the 4 pillars of religion.
And they are linked to the 4 regulative principles.
Yeah, and then Jayanti said they're linked to the 4 regulated principles. So how are they connected? Which ones are connected to which?
Truthfulness is connected to no gambling.
Yeah, so truthfulness is connected with no gambling.
Then
because gambling is cheating, right? Is cheating and lying.
Austerity
is involved with gambling.
Austerity is connected with no intoxication.
The austerity is connected with no intoxication. Because if you're intoxicated, you can't perform austerity. It's not possible. You can't get up early in the morning and all these and do difficult things. When you take drugs, intoxication, then you just want a comfortable life and you can't do any difficult things.
Mercy is connected with no meat eating.
Yeah. Mercy is connected with no animal killing. Obviously, if you're killing animals, then there's no mercy there. So by refraining from animal killing, that's helping us to develop that quality of mercy and kindness.
And cleanliness is linked to...
And cleanliness to illicit sex. So one becomes very dirty by always engaging in illicit sex. Like that is very dirty activity. So one's cleanliness is compromised by too much of this illicit sex activities.
Hey, in some place, actually, they don't mention cleanliness. They mention something else, isn't it? There's a
purity.
It may be that mental cleanliness rather than physical cleanliness. It's like, you have maybe mode of goodness, thinking right thing, clean in your beliefs or whatever. I mean,
consciousness.
Yeah, when you say cleanliness, well, inside of cleanliness, that means 2 divisions: external, internal. External, internal. And those external, internal are influencing each other. If you're externally dirty, unclean, then internally also becomes unclean. Does that make sense? Like if you live in a dirty house, a dirty room, or your car is dirty, your office is dirty, everything's all messed up, then that clutter outside, things become cluttered up inside your mind. And you know how you feel, or how do you feel if you walk into a very clean place, like a beautifully clean temple room or something like that? Immediately you walk into a clean place, you feel in your mind more, your mind becomes more peaceful and clean and calm and everything like that. So the external environment definitely affects our internal environment, either positively or negatively. So yeah, they're definitely connected to each other. So yeah, sex life is a very unclean activity. So that can, if one's always absorbed in doing that, then one internally becomes unclean also. And then one's mind will be full up with just thoughts of lust and all this kind of thing like that, and just selfish gratification and so forth. So that's, there's no all the purity or cleanliness is lost. Another alternate, a synonym for cleanliness is like purity. Instead of using the word cleanliness, you can say purity also. So one's purity becomes, lost by.
No. I think in some place, it's not purity which is connected with illicit sex, but I think austerity is connected with illicit sex. I vaguely remember. I've forgotten. I need to look this up. But it sounds in somewhere in another place in the Bhagavatam, I think it was mentioned like that. Or maybe I'm mixing it up into somewhere else.
Whatever. I don't think you have to just link it to one particular thing anyway, because if you engage in those sinful activities, it's going to just weaken your whole religious behavior. Is going to be weakened by that. Pious life is going to be weakened by that. Okay, next one.
Yep. I'm a prisoner of government and I cannot go along the way of the ramparts. It will be very pious of you to take this money and kindly get me across this hilly tract of land.
So the ramparts, that's like the main road. So he can't go by the main road because the government's looking for him. So he's trying to encourage him that it'll be very pious of him to help him get freedom like that. And people like to think that they're pious. You know, anyone that's a decent person anyway, likes to think of themselves as pious. So he's encouraging him that, you know, this will be very pious of you if you like help me get freedom from, you know, this the government is, you know, pursuing him and everything. So if you help me get released like that, freedom, then this will be very pious. So you know, that's also, apart from the money, of course, is a big encouragement. But this is another encouragement that, you know, you'll be regarded as, you know, a very pious person, and God, and basically God will be pleased with you if you help me like that. So he's trying to inspire him, motivate him to help. Do you want to say anything about that? Anything that comes to mind?
I think he has shown that he's very diplomatic in the sense that he wants to do good for them as well. I think with the jailer as well, he did, you were very, very
Yes, same kind of,
encouraging them for doing good stuff, and also making sure that he's getting what he wants to in a very nice way, actually.
yes,
Because he was already, and that's because he was already one of the ministers or prime minister or whatever he was. So he had to be diplomatic. So you can see that he's very good with his words and diplomacy.
Yeah, clever. Yeah, very clever with his words. Yeah. And then, you know, he's creating, which is also used in the big business circles. They talk about a win-win. We want a win-win scenario, win-win relationship. So it means you got two parties, right? But ideally, what you want to achieve with both parties is that both parties benefit by the deal, right? Well, you can have a win-lose, lose-win, or lose-lose, or win-win. So which is best? Obviously, win-win is the best. Often in materialistic life, you know, you have a relationship with someone, it's often like win-lose. You know, someone gets benefit out of it, and the other person experiences some, you know, loss like that. So that's obviously not very good, or obviously not good for the person that loses. So, but ideally, what we want to achieve in all of our interactions is that everyone benefits. You know, and that ultimately is Krishna consciousness, is good for everyone. The person speaking about Krishna benefits, the person that hears about Krishna benefits, the person that asks questions about Krishna benefits, the person that, you know, gives the answers benefits, the audience benefits, even the other living entities like animals and plants that hear the chanting going on or talking about Krishna, they benefit also. So it's like so the word is shubha, auspicious, all auspicious. It's good for everyone. That's one of Krishna's qualities. Sava Shubha. He's all auspicious. All auspicious. Everyone benefits. Okay, let's continue.
Smiling, the landlord said, "Before you offered them, I already knew that there were 8 gold coins in your servant's possession." Mm. He's
So
smiling.
he's say, he's revealing to
Yeah,
Sanatan that, because Sanatan just told him, "Here, have these coins," but and then he's smiling, so I already knew you had these coins. I already knew because of his palm reader guy. He already knew.
that's another thing I was interesting is palm reading. How can you actually figure out how much money you have? I mean, that's insane. I mean, in terms of if you look at usually palm will tell you what's coming in the future or what happened in the past. Somebody can tell you, but I never heard that somebody can tell you because today I have $8, tomorrow I don't have. So how do you tell the lines change or something?
Yeah. So either
That's
he had some mystical power as well.
yeah,
So he might have had some other abilities too, I
yeah,
don't know. But he
quite right.
definitely had some, special abilities. And
Yes,
that's
yes.
the thing too, that everyone has a special gift, like that. I mean, I know devotees that they just pick up a musical instrument and they
Mhm.
can just start playing it amazingly without any academic training in it or anything like that. They're just naturally gifted, probably from a previous life. They
Mm.
had been playing, musical instrument in their previous life. Some people are super gifted artists or cooks or whatever, different. Giant had never done a website before, and then suddenly she just comes out with this amazing website.
Yeah.
So people have different gifts. People get amazed at how well these fruit trees are growing. So Krishna's given me a gift with growing plants and things like that. So everyone has some gift. So yeah, this guy's gifted to know how much money you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All
So
right.
he's having a bit of fun with Sanatan now that, "Hey mate, I already knew that you had money." Like that. So, and then you can continue.
On this very night, I would have killed you and taken your coins. It is very good that you have voluntarily offered them to me. I am now relieved from such a sinful activity.
Mm. So you can see how the association of a devotee like Sanatan Goswami is very purifying, very uplifting.
Mm.
Because he's being very honest. I mean, he didn't have to say that he was planning to kill him, right? Because it's pretty embarrassing,
Mm.
to say to someone's face that, if you hadn't given me this money, I was going to kill you, like that. So he's being very, he's opening up his heart. He's being very honest. So I personally feel that you could through reading this, you can realize that, although you can see in the beginning of the story that the guy was very materialistic. He was very materialistic. And why has he even got this palm reader with him? Because he'd probably done this before. He's probably done this before. Other people come to stay in his place, and the palm reader sees that he've got money. He's probably killed people before. I'm sure he has. He would have, so this is probably just his regular activity. Um, but now this person is a different person. This is a saintly person, Sanat Goswami, and he's probably never before experienced that someone comes forward and just hands over the money without him having to take it. I mean, how many people do you find that just come up to you and just give you money, like that? Nobody. So this is very purifying to meet someone like this with such amazing behavior, that's so generous and everything like that, and so intelligent, and so religious, so devoted to God. So you can really feel in this that he's become very purified of his sinful nature, and he's just being so honest. Because like we said, that's a pillar of religion too, right? Being truthful. So you just come out with it, I was planning to kill you and take your coins. So it's very good that you have voluntarily offered them to me. I am now relieved from such a sinful activity. So yeah, in any proper culture, you know that to kill a person is sinful. Even in the Bible, right, it says thou shalt not kill. So if you kill means it's a sinful activity. So, religious people know, what's right and wrong. So if we know, like this guy knows, this landlord knows what's right and wrong, it's wrong to kill someone, but he just said he was going to kill someone. So if you are religious and you know what's right and wrong, why is it that sometimes you still do the wrong thing? It's not because you didn't know. No, but and like in this case, he knows it's wrong to kill, but still he does it. So what is the cause of us doing the wrong thing, even when we know it's wrong? We already know it's wrong, but still we do the wrong thing. Why do we do that?
We are so stuck. I mean, we are so influenced by the mode of nature that we can't get out of it.
So Johnny said we're so influenced by the mode of nature that we can't get out of it. Particularly which mode?
Mode of passion, I guess. I don't know.
Passion, yeah. So Krishna says, you can look it up later in the third chapter, around text 36. Third chapter, text 36. Arjuna asked Krishna, it's a very fascinating question. By what force are we impelled to do an activity that we know is sinful? Very interesting question, and Krishna says, Kamesa Krodesha Rajaguna Samudabhava Mahashano Mahapatma Vidyanami Havaranam. It is lust only, Arjuna, which is a sinful, all-devouring enemy of the world, which is later transformed into wrath. So Krishna there gives the answer. What is it that makes us to do an activity that we know is wrong, but we still do it? And it's that calm, that lust, that strong, like I said, we have strong material desires. Like Johnny said, we've been in this, cycle of many births, trying to enjoy in the material world. So that trying to enjoy in the material, that's what lust is. Lust is trying to enjoy in the material world through our body, through our senses. And that's very hard to get out of that. So there's such a strong force to try to gratify our senses. And even though intellectually, because that ability to see right and wrong, what's that? That's intelligence. But the thing is, the mind has overpowered the intelligence. So even though your intelligence says that's wrong to kill that person or rape that person or take that money or whatever like that, but the mind has become more powerful because lust, greed, anger, all these kind of things, that's all in the mind. That's all in the mind. So the mind has teamed up with the false ego, and the false ego is that identification that I'm the body, that I am the body. So when we have that identification with the body, and then you have this crazy mind packed in with that's trying to, enjoy everything that's around us. That money is for me, and that woman is for me, and that food is for me, and all this kind of stuff. So then it's all creates a real nightmare. Does anyone want to say anything about that? That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, that's. I think it's like, I think somebody gave example or something. If you have two dogs, you're feeding, what you feed. I mean, basically, we have been doing, as you said, sense gratification for ages. So we've been feeding on that. So that
Mm.
becomes, and then you basically, as you said, and then it overrides the intelligence, and then we make decisions for sense gratification rather than. So we, that's where I think mindfulness comes into picture, that if you're not aware, even if you're aware, sometimes you do most of the time, but yeah, it overtakes. I think we have been doing it for quite some time, so
Mm.
it's like it's more
Mm.
strong.
Yeah. So now the very interesting question is, okay, now I know the problem. How do I change that? How do I get out of that? How do you get out of the intelligence being victimized and conquered by the mind? What's the solution? How do we escape that cycle?
Then I think, yeah, it comes to the mind. I think because you have to then control the mind. You should be aware of mind
Oh, you have to
so that
control the
you
mind. Control the mind with what?
control, in the sense that since you are not the mind, because mind is part of the body, right? So what happens when you are actually overtaken by mind is that your intelligence or yourself is away from it. It's automatically happening. You're not even aware of that. So when the mind, when you are aware of your mind, so it's like this instrument, and then you watch it as if you know what's mind is saying, and then you make a conscious decision at that point of time. One is automatic, like we have been doing it for ages, and then we don't think about it, and we don't even aware of that.
Hmm.
And then if you have control, if you're mindful, you're aware of your emotions, your what you're thinking, then you can control it. Otherwise, if mind has overtaken it, then it'll be very difficult to overtake.
Control so then what will be
No, it's
able to
not
control the
controlling
mind?
the mind, it's
Huh?
not acting on the mind. So if you act on the mind,
Yeah.
because mind is like, it's overtaken. So as you said, intelligence has gone back, or yourself, the real self, there
Yeah.
is away from. And then if you're not aware of your mind, then you won't be able to stop it, isn't it? I mean, because mind has overtaken. It's
Hmm.
it's control. You are not even aware of it. So
Hmm.
to get at that level, you should be very aware of your mind, that what's happening. And that's where I think meditation and japas and everything
Hmm.
starting help, is that you're more aware of your emotions. You're getting angry, you're getting greedy, you're doing wrong thing, you will be able to take action. But if mind is strong and is taken over your intelligence, then you
Yeah.
don't have no
Hmm.
that's one
Hmm.
of the things. But I don't know what you think. What
Well, what Krishna actually says the solution is at the end of the third chapter, text 43. Thus, knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, mind, and intelligence, one should conquer the mind with spiritual intelligence. And then there's another few words which don't come to my mind right now. But the point is, what Krishna's saying is we 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 have to awaken the soul to Krishna consciousness. And then when the soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness, then our spiritual intelligence becomes awakened. And with that very strong spiritual intelligence, then we can control the mind. Because the point is that at the moment the mind's out of control, and the material intelligence is not strong enough to control it. So that intelligence has to be strengthened. And how do we strengthen that intelligence? That's this process of Krishna consciousness. An important part of the process of Krishna consciousness is to hear from the guru, hear from the spiritual master, hear from the scriptures. And that process, and that's what we're basically doing every Thursday and, Saturday, we're hearing from the scriptures. And what is this achieving? That we're strengthening our spiritual intelligence. The soul's waking up and our spiritual intelligence is getting strengthened. And with that spiritual intelligence, then we are able to have the strength to control the mind. And then that greed, that whatever envy, whatever it is, can be held in check.
Yeah.
So ideally, the soul's on top. Then under the soul is the intelligence. Under the intelligence is the mind. Under the mind is the senses. But the way it works in Maya, in materialistic life, is the senses dictate to the mind. I want to taste this, have sex with this person, whatever the genitals want something, the tongue, the eyes want to see something, the ears want to hear some nice music or whatever, and the mind gives it to that, and then the mind controls the intelligence, and then the soul is just completely asleep, so in that way it goes on, So there's two kinds of person. It said go das means servant of the senses. So go means senses. Go means cow also, but it can also mean senses. So go das means servant of the senses, or go swami. Go swami means the master of the senses. So if we develop that, awaken that spiritual intelligence, then we can control the mind and the senses like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So that's the importance of us, regularly hearing the philosophy, and that the spiritual intelligence gets strong to the point where we can control the mind and the senses. Otherwise, like here, and we see that big time in the world today, people killing each other on massive scales. It's all sinful activity, and that's implicating the soul in the cycle of birth and death. As soon as we just, for no reason, just killing other people, exploiting in different ways, then we're entangled in more and more reincarnation, the cycle of birth and death. It's terrible what's going on in the world today. People are engaged in so many sinful activities, and through drinking, illicit sex, gambling, not only animal killing but also killing people, killing animals, and so forth. There's so much sinful reactions, and those reactions are that we have to take birth again and again. So, yeah, it's very important for us to break the cycle of sinful activity. So the landlord's feeling very relieved. He's feeling very relieved that he was just about to perform a sinful activity, but due to the religious activity, the pious activity of Sanatana Goswami has like countered his sinful activity. It means he's just being so charitable. Sanatana Goswami's being so charitable, just handing over money, being very kind, handing over money, and that's like counteracted his sinful activity before he even did it. So he's feeling very relieved. Wow, you just managed to stop me from getting myself in the poo and big trouble. So he's feeling very, relieved like that. Okay, so we read another one.
Another one.
Yeah.
Sanatana Goswami replied, "If you do not accept these coins, someone else will kill me for them. It is better
Oh no,
that
I
you
think you've
save me." Oh, did I 32 or
you missed
33?
one.
Okay.
31.
I'm very satisfied with your behavior. I shall not accept these gold coins. but I shall get you across the hilly tract of land simply to perform a pious. That's a
I mean, this is
dramatic
amazing. I
change.
mean, it's just what like I said, the landlord's becoming purified by Sanatana Goswami's association. He said, I'm very satisfied with your behavior. So, what is it about a devotee that really sets the devotee apart from everyone else? It's his behavior. That's why we have the word acharya. Acharya, we say, a very exalted devotee is called an acharya. And what is the meaning of acharya? Acharya means one who teaches by example. Achar means behavior. So, just by his behavior, you're learning from that. That he's teaching you, not necessarily by even talking, even without talking, you're learning from the person by his behavior is so good. His behavior is so good. Actually, one time a devotee asked, or someone asked Prabhupada, how do you know who is a devotee? And Prabhupada said, a devotee is a perfect gentleman. That means, just by his behavior, just by the behavior, you feel very purified, very inspired, very uplifted, very, like he's saying, I'm very satisfied to see your behavior. And he's just coming forward and handing over the money like that. Nobody does that. No one's prepared to sacrifice their money. No one's prepared to just give away. Everyone's very attached to all these material possessions, but he's just being very charitable and just giving it away like that. And so he's very satisfied to see that behavior. And the thing is, when you see the other person behave very nicely, that brings it out of us. So even though I wasn't behaving very well, but when I see your good behavior, that's very attractive and makes me want to perform some good behavior. So, just it's a wonderful thing we can do is just behave in a very good, uplifting way, and hopefully it will inspire other people to, wow, that's so nice what they're doing. I'm also going to do like that. It was very interesting this morning. We had some of these walkers stayed the night and they left, and and the lady just before she left, she's quite an elderly lady. She's still working, but she's taken a break from work. And in the beginning, actually, in Giant, he also mentioned this, that in the beginning when she first came yesterday around lunchtime, she seemed like very cautious about us and a bit like you could say suspicious or just like defensive, a bit defensive and not very relaxed. So you could feel like there was some kind of walls around her. And but after we spent some time together and we showed the group around the place and had like a guided tour and I
They had
explained,
their lunch.
and they had their lunch and everything, and then you know then she just, like, you could see the walls went down. Just she realized,
Especially when she ate.
yeah, when she ate and everything, especially, she felt safe and that she can trust these people. And she might have thought that she knew that we're Hare Krishnas, so she might have thought, oh, Hare Krishnas, maybe they're like religious fanatics or something, or crazy people. She might even be a Christian and think, well, these are Hare Krishnas, there's some weird cult or something. So you could definitely feel there was a wall around her when she came in the door. But then after all these, being with us and having prasad, that went away and she was very relaxed. So anyway, this morning, just before she left, she said, um, you gave us a lot, and you didn't really take much money, because we only asked for $10 for a meal, and it's a big meal, and then $10 for staying, and we let them use a cabin and toilets and everything we've set up for them. So she could understand that, that we'd given her a lot and we hadn't asked for much money. So she said, I want to give you some more money. So she just handed me $10. And I said, no, no, we don't need more money. That's enough. I said it's in our philosophy not to be greedy, and that we should just take as much as we need. So I said that to her. And she said, yes, but it's in my philosophy that I want to give you something. And that was so nice what she said. She accepted what I said, which is, very nice, and not to be greedy and be satisfied. But then she wanted to be charitable, to be giving. And then I said, yes, both of those things go very well together. That the one person is not being greedy and the other person is being very charitable, very giving. That works very well together. We shouldn't want to take too much, but yeah, and the other person likes to give, and that creates a very nice relationship. And so I took that money, and so I was very happy with her behavior. She was very happy with my behavior. So yeah, everyone was feeling very uplifted. It was like a win-win thing like that. And she asked me if she could have a guava, because she really enjoyed our guavas. So I gave her another guava, and she was munching on that. And yeah, it's so nice. So our behavior can really affect people a lot, and just we feed off that. If we see good behavior, we get inspired to ourself, do the very best we can, like that. And it goes the other way too. If someone does bad behavior, then we might also reciprocate with bad behavior. So it's better to do it this way, to try to do good behavior, and then that encourages other people to do good behavior. Even you can see YouTube videos, and there's a lot of YouTube videos that do this kind of thing. They show someone that's helping somebody else, and then that person that gets helped, you see in the video that they go and then help someone else. So it like has a, what do you call it, a domino effect, right? It's like a domino effect. You help me, and then I get inspired, and then I go and help her, and then she goes and helps him. So it's very contagious, that kind of, this, because actually this is the real nature of the soul. This is the original nature of the soul, that's full of love, and we just like to give, and and to be satisfied, and to be truthful, and to be clean, and all these kind of good qualities. These are actually the dormant qualities of the soul. So when we actually see someone practicing these good qualities, it's like an awakening. It creates like an awakening within us, and then we try to do it ourselves, and that obviously gives us a really good feeling, because of course when you do the right thing, you get a really good feeling in your heart, and you feel like he's saying here, I'm very satisfied. So you get a real satisfaction, a real happiness from seeing the good behavior and then doing, something good yourself, you get that real satisfaction. And it's really addictive, and then you just want to do it more and more. And that's what leads us from the bad path downwards to the good path upwards. Is first of all seeing someone, on that upwards path, and then it's sort of we get sucked into that in a positive way, and it's really good.
No,
You
that
want to
makes
say anything about that?
yeah. I mean, that's a perfect example you give. You had that instance with that person walking. Yeah, that's. I mean, it's what do you call that? The kind of association you have, you will become like that, and that's the example in society, right? And not many people are God conscious or doing right things. So everyone who's coming has not everyone, but most of us are like what we are seeing, we are doing that. We are observing something, and that makes sense. I mean, totally that if you're around people who are doing good stuff, you will learn that. You will try, automatically you pick that up. But since that's not very often, that's what the problem is current Kali Yuga,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
people are not being taught right thing. So you are basically, so it's more, yeah, it's and especially, and if you have somebody who's pious as like Sanatan Goswami, and it has the other effect, right? Even if association like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if somebody was close to him, they used to get all the goosebumps or whatever. He can feel the energy,
Hmm.
kind of a good person, right? That has an
Hmm.
impact, and I can see the transformation. The guy who wanted to kill, now he want to actually is saying, I don't want anything. So it's just kind of a unbelievable transformation he's gone through just by association of somebody who's really so pious or a devotee, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And you can, and this is proving that he's being purified, that he's
Mm.
Sanatan's offering him the money. He says, I don't want it. And that's extraordinary. That, a day before he was such a materialistic person, he was even prepared to kill for the money. And now it's being offered to him, just offered to him, and he doesn't want it. So I mean, what a complete 180-degree turnaround. It's completely transformed.
Yeah.
And how did that take place? Just by the good association of Sanat Goswami. The day before he was a murderer, and now he doesn't even want to take money. It's
Right.
incredible. It's just completely incredible. But this is a fact. It happens, and we've seen that with
Mm.
Prabhupada, and we've seen that with all great devotees. They just have such a transforming effect.
Mm.
Like that. It's just amazing. And if I look at my life before Krishna consciousness and like going to now, it's completely 180 degrees turned around. And that was just due to the association with devotees, like completely turned me around. It's just amazing. It's very powerful. So that's
Mm.
why it's encouraged in all the scriptures, sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha. The association with the sadhu is very important, very important. It's said even lava matra, which Jayanti just mentioned too. Lava matra means even a moment's association with a devotee can give you all perfection, sarva siddhi. Sarva siddhi means all perfection. So just a moment's association with the sadhu can make you completely perfect, like that. And we've just seen this just very short association that the landlord's having with Sanatan, and already he's completely becoming a sadhu himself, like that. And he's saying, just as a religious activity, I'll help you get across the track without even any money. I'll still help you get across, but you don't even need to give me any money. But what Sanatan's going to say is that, but I still want to give you the money because if I keep it, someone else is going to kill me. Someone else is going to kill me, so you take it. So you can just see it's such a loving exchange. Imagine, someone wants to give you money, but you're not greedy for it. You don't want to take it. It's
Mm.
so sweet. Normally people are greedy to take money from someone else, but if you're not greedy for the money, it's such a loving exchange. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Mm.
So
Yeah.
eventually he took the money, but actually he took the money to help Sanatan. Because like Sanatan's saying, if I keep it, someone else is going to rob me. So you'll be doing me a favor if you take it. So the landlord accepts that money, but as a service, not because of his greed for it, but as a service to help him. So that this is, like I said, this is the real nature of the soul, that we're a servant. This is our real nature, and this is where the real satisfaction is, and that we're the servant of God, and ultimately we can serve each other also in that relationship, that we're all brothers and sisters, and God's the Father of everyone like that. And if we relate to each other in that way, that we're all equal, we're all servants of God on that platform, we're all equal as servants. No one's higher or lower than anyone else. The God he's the boss, and we're all his servants. And then and we all deal with each other in that mood of service. Then the relationships are so sweet, so nice like that. So this is giving us a solution to all the problems of modern society. And we see in modern society, people's relationships are so bad. And we see, countries, like I said, are in conflict. And then even within the countries, there's, the black are in conflict with the white, and the Christians are in conflict with the Muslims. And then, and then even families are in conflict, and husbands and wives are in conflict, and brothers and sisters are in conflict. And, this is one of the main things we see is there's no harmony, no unity, so much conflict. But this is the solution right here. I mean, look at this. Even forget about family or anything, but they're even complete strangers. But just by having one person, even having that mood of being a servant, and then it's just had such a purifying effect. And now even this other person who was a real materialist, he's also picked up that vibe, that mood. And it's just such a sweet exchange. No, I'll help you. I'll help you. Don't even have to give me any money. I'll just help you. So yeah, it just shows how it can even fix up all our relationships and everything like that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, how about we read
Okay.
just two more, 32 and 33?
Okay. Sanatan Goswami replied, "If you do not accept these coins, someone else will kill me for them. It is better that you save me from the danger by accepting the coins." And the 33 is, after this settlement was made, the landlord gave Sanatan Goswami 4 watchmen to accompany him. They went through the forest path for the whole night and thus brought him over the hilly tract of land.
Mhm. So there are some advantages in being poor. No one's going to be
Yeah,
motivated to kill you.
that's right. That's true.
People get murdered because they are poor too. Because they're not carrying the money. Actually, it was funny. My dad was saying today that there was an incident where one lady was carrying this person going. Okay.
Can you hear?
One
Yeah,
lady
yeah.
was
Yeah.
one lady was having a person going, and then this man came and took a person, ran off. After a while, he came back to her and gave the purse back and said, "Keep some money in there." Because there was no money, there was nothing in it. He was like, "Here, take your bag." And then it's completely useless. Keep some money at least in it. And you ran off again.
That's a true story.
I don't know. I mean, we were talking about, pickpockets or something. That was
Yeah.
the conversation. My dad came up with this. So I don't know. Sometimes my dad, you know how he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's possible. It's true as well.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I remember something interesting. I think some policeman was saying that he's generally telling that keep a empty purse or something with you with your money. If somebody
Yeah.
comes, you can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Yeah. I heard that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That lady was so smart that is, I just keep it out there for the show off, But yeah,
Yeah.
money creates a lot of problem. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why all the lottery winners, they go bust, kind
Mm,
of thing. Most of them, right?
mm,
Because money attract everything,
mm,
and then your people around you turn around,
mm,
and too much of money
mm,
also. And then you work so hard to earn that much money. I don't know. I mean, if you're not winning lottery, you work day and
mm,
night, right? I mean, if you're CEO of a company, you have 24 hours, you are solving the problems, and everything is
mm,
on. So it's
mm.
it's it's like, as you said, there's no free lunch or free.
Yeah.
Saying that
Yeah.
there's no just free lunch. You have to work
Yeah.
for it. If
Yeah.
you want more money, you work hard. But
Yeah.
that's temporary, right? I mean, you're
Yeah.
not going to take anything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
it can change people.
Yeah.
You can change people unless you are aware of spiritually awakened, I guess.
Mm,
Understand.
mm. And because that's the nature of the material world, that people are lusty and greedy, affected by the mode of passion, then anyone that has a lot of material facilities, then they run the risk that all these lusty greedy people are going to try to take it away. And that reminded me that Chanakya Pandit, he said that if you have a beautiful wife, then she is your enemy. And the logic of that is that if you have a beautiful wife, many lusty men will be trying to get her. So you'll always, then her husband will always have to work hard to try to protect the wife from all the advances of these lusty men. So it's not that just the beautiful wife is going to be hurting the husband or something, but it's just that
Mm.
he'll always having to be, working hard to try to stop all these other lusty men trying to, to exploit her and take her away and, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the problem we face, that you have a lot of money or a beautiful wife or a fancy house or car or phone, and some nutcase is going to try to, take it away from you. So in that case, it's just better not to have it because then you don't have to worry about it. If you have an old car, no one's going to want to steal it, right? Or something, but if you have a fancy one, then, people are going to want to try to take it or something like that. So, and then the idea is then you're always in anxiety. If you have all these facilities, lots of money in house and everything, then you're always in anxiety. I have to protect all these things and like that. And then how are you going to think about Krishna? Because your mind is full, I have to look after this, protect this, and blah blah blah. And and it said that's exactly why the Brahmanas traditionally were always poor. It's not because they're stupid and they can't figure out how to make money, but they could see that, having too much money is a cause of anxieties. You have to protect it and everything like that, and you're always thinking how to make more and more and that. So purposefully they would keep themselves poor. If someone gave them some donation, Guru Dakshina, then they would take what they needed and the rest they would give it in charity like that. So they would always be in a poor position because they could see how it was very entangling like that. Mm. But of course, Vaishyas, they have a different dharma than a Brahmana, so then they do accumulate wealth, but maybe some more anxiety there for the Vaishyas. The Brahmanas are very peaceful, but yeah, some more anxiety there. But then, then it said the Vaishyas, they would be, with their opulence they have, then they would use that to support all the other ashramas. So 4 ashramas. So then the grihastas, who are vaishyas, then they're supporting the brahmacharis, supporting the vanaprasthas, for supporting the sannyasis. So that way they purify their wealth. So even though there's some anxiety they have in accumulating wealth, but they can also make advancement by supporting the brahmacharis and vanaprasthas and sannyasis in their spiritual pursuit. So in that sense, then it's not it's worthwhile, taking on some anxiety to, work and make money and so forth. If you can use that in a way that's, Krishna will be pleased that you're, indirectly serving by helping those that are, busy serving the Lord, that you're assisting them.
Yep.
Like that. Like recently, Jayanti's guru came here and we give some guru dakshina, give some money that we've earned, give that like that. And that's good for us. Good for us to support them.
That's good. All right, I think
Yes, time's up.
time is up. Thank you very much again.
Thank
and
you
have a good-
too. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.